this thing will distance you and keep you distanced from God. And this one thing is sometimes one of the easiest things you can change. That easiest thing you can change is the company you keep. The company you keep is very key to your Christian and spiritual walk. You'll have one crowd of people pulling you towards going to parties, going to drink, lusting over other people, over the opposite person, over the opposite gender. They'll have you, the people you surround yourself with will sculpt you to become either closer to God, to become that body of work that God wants you to be, or to become what the devil wants you to be. And it's funny because I was one of those type of people. One thing I used to do, especially when I was around certain people, is I would try to fit in. I would try to fit in with the rest of the crowd. I would try to fit in with people who I thought were cool. I tried to fit in, especially at a younger age. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be like everybody. I wanted to be like the cool kids, if you will. But that never worked out. At the end of the day, if you were trying to get earthly glory from human beings, it'll never be enough. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even matter. You putting in so much effort to please everybody around you, to fit in, to be more like the world, is where you are falling short. I believe Romans 12 verse 2 says to not conform to this world, to not be like this world, be more like God. I kind of reflect on that verse because of the fact of how much in the past I've waned away from God because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to do things because it made me feel like I was playing a part and I was fitting in and I was being like everybody else. When we were sculpted from the depths of this earth, we were sculpted individually under God's image, under man's image in God's name, to be more like Jesus, to be more like Christ, to be Christ-like. And for the longest time, until I really realized what really truly mattered, I wanted to be like these people, especially in high school, especially in middle school. But I also realized something. These same individuals end up in the same exact place. These individuals, a lot of them never really grew up. A lot of these individuals never found God, or at least have not done that yet. And due to God's grace, he gave me some grace. He gave me opportunity. He gave me more chance. And I think about the fact that, I had to start auditing the people in my life. I had to start auditing the people I keep myself around. Me understanding this, I know God doesn't want me around people who are going to put me down. But I also understand that I don't want my soul to be on the line. I don't want my cross to be burned just because of the fact that I can't place myself around the right people, because I'm stubborn and because I'm foolish to keep myself around people who are not edifying me, nurturing me, trying to grow me, and trying to pour into my cup rather than take away. One thing I have to tell myself is, if I'm going to put myself in an environment, I'm going to try to attract the right people. I'm going to do my best to be my true self and to attract the right individuals in my life that are going to add, that are going to push me towards God and not away from God. You got people out here who, maybe right now, you got friends around you who are pulling you and keeping you away from going to church. People who are telling you, hey, God's not real. People who are telling you to, hey, just because you're Christian doesn't mean you got to go to church. Just because you're Christian, just because you're Christian, you don't have to take communion every week. Just because you're Christian, you don't have to attend Bible study. Just because you're Christian doesn't mean you have to pray. You got these same individuals telling you this, and they're in your ear right now. And you're wondering why it feels like God is not blessing you. And you're wondering why you feel distant from God. Maybe, and just maybe, you need to assert yourself in a different environment and in a different circle. See, I knew for me, if I was going to be able to find my godly purpose, which I still am continuously doing every single day, and who I'm helping a client, his name, I'm not going to put his name, but I helped him because I am instructing him and giving him godly wisdom on through experience of the way he takes care of himself, his time, and the people he keeps around him, but also prioritizing what God wants over what he wants. See, when you want these certain friends and companions in your life, friends in your life and in your circle, the only thing you can hope and pray for is that they are pushing you towards you where you want to go. But the reality is the real in people comes out when it gets difficult, and the real in people comes out in the flesh and blood. You can try to see the good in everybody, but there becomes a point in time where, look, you got to realize if they're bringing you and taking you towards God or not. I try to be an example for people around me. I try to attract the right individuals around me. Even if they're not the most Christian-like people, I try to be that Christ-like example so I can, and it's not about fame, it's not about any of that, but it's about showing love and being that light. And you have the chance to do that by just putting yourself in a different environment. And one of the things I continuously do, especially when I read, it says, blessed, in Psalm chapter 1, verse 1, it says, blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers. 2 Corinthians 6:14, do not be yoked with unbelievers, for what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? I promise you, the blind will lead the blind. Let me say that again. The blind will lead the blind. And if the blind is leading the blind, y'all are both leading yourself. There's no leader. Y'all are both falling into a dark pit of hell. There is no reality to where there is a light or a success from a blind person leading another blind person without some type of light, without some type of sight, without some type of wisdom, without some type of knowledge. I don't want to make this video too long, but the biggest key takeaway is assert yourself. Reflect on your friend group. Reflect on yourself. Maybe you're the friend that's in the wrong place. Maybe you're the friend who's causing the trouble, pulling people away from God. Or maybe you're the friend who is wanting to desire to follow Christ more, but for some reason you can't cut off these friends, or for some reason you can't, every time you try to help these friends, you don't do what you're supposed to be doing. You have the opportunity. Don't let another second go by, millisecond go by, and you're not being that salt to the world that God wants us to be. I hope you learned something. I hope you take this video, bless others, share this with others. But as always, God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed.